What is up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? It's Brandon Collins with another video from an Africa Roundtable. This one is with the stars of the Bob Marley biopic One Love, Kingsley, Ben-Adir, and Lashana, Lynch. As always, don't forget to subscribe to our Medium Popcorn YouTube page for future reviews and celebrity interviews. Special thanks as always to Africa for this incredible opportunity. Now here's meant to be with the stars of Bob Marley, One Love. Hi, Brandon Collins from the Medium Popcorn Podcast. My question is for both of you. What is a unique fact or detail you learned about Rita and Bob Marley that you would have loved to include in the movie for audiences to know?
I think some of the things that I learned early on, whether it be through my own research or meeting the family, meeting Mrs. Marley herself, were touched on, not with me and Kingsley, but we had, younger versions of Bob and Rita where you were able to dive into their love and how they got to know each other. That's a story of its own that would have, for me, is its own film. How they really came up slowly and seeing how they relied on each other, how they developed and dived into their artistry, how they became who they are as spirits, and how they really dived into their Rastafarianism and leaned on that within their music and how they relate to the world. It is in the story. It's just so hard with the amount of time that you have to dive into that as much as I would like as an actor, but also seeing the other side, how edits work, what you need for a studio movie, keeping audiences engaged. It's very easy for me to say it would have been great if, we met, both of them before they even met each other, like the real families that they come from and how Jamaica influenced them, etc. But actually, from a consumer's perspective, it's really important that I remember as a member of this industry that we have to be able to balance both and not just stay in a dreamlike state, which is, it would have been nice if we had more of, because the reality is with a studio film, there's just certain things you have to tick. There's certain things you need in order to sell this movie in the way that it does, the story in general deserves to be served. So the audiences can be reached and they can talk about it. And we can have moments like now, which is months after it's come out, having conversations about what this film means to the culture. So there's plenty of things that I learned through the conversations with Ziggy and Sedella and just random videos that I watched of Mrs. Marley speaking and her book, which is a film on its own, that I had to really reckon with at the beginning and say, there are moments in this movie where we encapsulate that just through the essence of who they are together and for each other. And that has to be enough when I think realistically, it has to, or else you'd come away from every project thinking, man, there was this thing that I wish we kept it in the edit and I wish that audiences got to see, but actually, no, these are real people that you as an audience member can research yourself. You can read her book, you can watch the documentaries, you can go to the museums, you can go to Jamaica yourself and really dive into like two of the people that influenced a lot of artists today's artistry. That's really important. I think the bigger conversation is an education of where things come from, where things originate, and how people put their stamp on something like the music industry, which at that time, he was the absolute rock star. And for him to stand the test of time now, and I know this is a very passionate way of answering your question, but it's it's just important that we don't frame the what ifs in a way that it's like a sad thing that we didn't get to put it in the film. Is actually an opportunity for the world to do their own work and really dive into what these films mean outside of entertainment.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.